Hi, it's Justin Morrison here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Canon EOS 80D on behalf of BestBuy.ca. The 80D is a DSLR as opposed to a mirrorless camera. It has a CMOS APS-C sensor, which is smaller than a full-frame sensor, but much larger than what you would get in, for example, a compact camera or your smartphone, for example. My first impressions on unboxing the 80D, it's a really well-built camera, as you would expect from Canon. Not as small as some of the models they make, but definitely smaller than, for example, the 5D Mark IV, which I reviewed recently. It's not weather sealed, but I know from experience that Canon cameras do well when there's a little bit of rain or a little bit of dust. Don't take my word for it and don't come back to me when you accidentally have some problems, but I have never had a problem with Canon cameras when it comes to rain or sand or dust or anything like that. They're very well built. I found the controls generally easy to use, pretty intuitive. There's a lot of customization you can do with this camera that I like because I have my own way of shooting and the way I like this to set things up, and the 80D allowed me to do that, to set things up the way I like them. The 80D has this very cool, very useful flip out screen, which you can turn in a number of different directions. This is very handy actually for shooting video, I find. It just allows you to have the screen at the angle that suits your needs most for that particular shot. The other thing I love about this screen is that it is a touch screen. So you can access all the menus just by tapping the screen. You can change your settings here using the screen. And that was something I really enjoyed because I didn't love the button, the jog wheel here on the back of the camera. It's not as useful a control as some of the ones I've used on other Canon cameras. It's just a little bit finicky, I found. It just wasn't as easy to be precise with the control as I'm used to being able to be. So being able to access everything I needed by the touchscreen was really a useful feature. You can also use the touchscreen while you're shooting to change your focus point. You can also use the tap function to release the shutter. Another thing I liked about the flip out screen, you can face it inwards so that the screen itself is protected. I'm not a big fan of the kit lenses that come with a lot of entry-level DSLRs. In my experience, they're not very high quality and they simply don't do justice to what these cameras are capable of. I much prefer to use something like a 50mm prime lens. This is a Canon EF 50mm f1.4 lens, which is a really excellent lens at a good price. But you can also use something like the 50mm 1.8 lens, which is again a little bit cheaper, but a far superior lens than what you'll get on the camera itself. Some of the features I really appreciated on the 80D were the Wi-Fi connectivity, which allows you to connect to your smartphone, download your images, share them to your social media. It also allows you to shoot remotely. It gives you a live view to the camera, so you can, for example, set your camera up on a tripod and, do a family portrait by actuating the shutter from your smartphone. One simple feature that wouldn't probably make a lot of reviews, but that I actually really liked, was the fact that you get a digital level here on the 80D. Sometimes when you're shooting, you get back to your computer and you find out that you were a little bit off angle, but with the level being right here on the camera itself, that allows you to correct for that in real time. A simple feature, but one I think that a lot of people will appreciate. The 80D does shoot video. The specs are not spectacular, I would have to say. It does not shoot 4K. It shoots full HD at a maximum of 60 frames per second, which is not stellar. I'd like it to be able to shoot at like 120 frames to get those really cinematic slow-mos, but unfortunately it does not. The 80D shoots up to 7 frames per second in continuous mode. You can also autofocus while shooting in continuous mode, which is a great feature. It has a maximum ISO of 16,000, which is really, really high. That allows you to shoot when there is very little available light. I had my suspicions that the quality of the images taken at 16,000 ISO would not be very good, but I was really surprised. They were not as grainy, not as much digital noise as I expected, and that was a major plus for the 80D. All in all, I think the 80D is an excellent camera. It has a lot of cool features. I think vloggers actually will really appreciate this camera because of the way that you can set it up with the screen facing forward to allow yourself to shoot and compose at the same time. I think a lot of enthusiasts will get really good value out of this camera and will be really impressed with the image quality, with the range of features, and everything that this 80D has to offer. Let's take a look at some of the images I was able to capture with the Canon EOS 80D. On behalf of Best Buy, I'm Justin Morrison. Until next time, peace out.